It's the Ugly American Werewolf in London Rock Podcast with your hosts, the Wolf and Action Jackson, who are keeping rock alive by talking classic rock, hard rock, progressive rock, heavy metal, 80s music, early MTV, UK vs. US chart success, and much more. This is the home of classic album and live concert reviews and your place for interviews with artists and legends. You're rocking with the Wolf. Out there, rock and rollers. Welcome to episode number 280 of the Ugly American Werewolf in London Rock Podcast. Brought to you by me, your host, Mac B. the Wolf, and I will be joined, as I always am, by my partner in crime from the east coast of the USA, Mr. Gary Action Jackson. And we hope you enjoyed last week's show as we interviewed the legendary Suzi Quatro about her new album Freedom, an upcoming tour of the UK and beyond. Legendary rocker we were so glad to be able to speak with. And of course, right before that, we spoke with Steve Kilby of The Church, talking about how seeing the Easy Beats back in the 60s let him know, hey, I think I can do this. I think I can be a rock and roller. And he's still doing it now on the singles tour, which is hitting the US here this summer. But recently, I had the opportunity to see one of the true legends of rock and roll, someone who I've admired since I was in high school. And though I've seen him play several times already, I just figure if he's coming to your town, don't miss an opportunity to see him. And that is the Golden God himself, Robert Plant, who may be in his late 70s now, but he's still singing. He put out an album with Saving Grace last year and is now touring with them, doing songs from that record, songs from his catalog, including a few old solo gems and a couple of Led Zeppelin classics, and even stuff from hundreds of years ago. Because Robert Plant is a troubadour. He's someone who signed up for this a very long time ago and wants to perform music that touches him. Not just be a jukebox for all of his old greatest hits, but to get together with people who can kind of play some of that Celtic, country, bluegrass, low country music that he just really loves. And his singing partner, Suzi Dian, really plays an amazing foil to his voice now, because he doesn't sing those real high notes so much anymore, but she can, just as Patty Griffin did with him, just as Alison Krauss did with him. I think he also enjoys the female energy on the stage, and they put out a great sound. And it made for a great night, and if anyone has the opportunity to go see him, either in your town, or if you need to travel to go see him, I would recommend you do it, just because he can't do this forever. Is getting older. I know he still loves it. He's still having fun with it. You can tell on stage. And the show is sold out. So if by reviewing this show, it helps get more people out to see him before you can't see him ever again, then I figure I'm doing my job as a rock and roll podcaster who is trying to keep this classic rock that I love so much alive. So we're going to go track by track on the show and talk about the night here in just a second. But first, we do have a little bit of business to take care of. We love to mention we are proud members of the Pantheon Podcast Media Network, a family of over 100 different shows. You can learn more at pantheonpodcast.com or follow on socials at Pantheon Pods. And we have to give a shout out to our amazing intergalactic sponsor, rarevinyl.com, who is based in the UK, folks, but they procure collections from all over the world and they ship all over the world as well. And yes, in their over 250,000 items in stock, they have some great Led Zeppelin stuff. They have great Robert Plant solo stuff. So if you're looking for a mint condition first edition of Houses of the Holy or Physical Graffiti or something like that, you can get it. You want the new re-releases on 180 gram vinyl, you can find that. Maybe the remasters are what you're into. Maybe you want picture discs or singles from other countries that are hard to find. Whatever your heart desires, go to rarevinyl.com and use the code UGLY, UGLY, to save 10% off one entire order. Not just one item, folks, but one entire order. So go pick up 5, 10, 15 things, everything you need to complete your Robert Plant or Led Zeppelin collection, and save big with the code UGLY. So visit rarevinyl.com, use the code UGLY, save 10%. Your record collection will thank you. Now back to Robert Plant. He's playing in one of my favorite venues, the Louisville Palace. We had decent seats on the floor, 25 or so rows back, had great sight lines. The sound was great. Not super familiar with the Saving Grace album, but it doesn't matter because I'm familiar with his style. I'm familiar with how he likes to sing now, who he likes to sing with, the kind of music he likes to make. If you're going there to hear him scream like a golden god, like it's 1976, you're going to be disappointed. And I think you're going for the wrong reason. But if you want to hear this legendary man do his thing, give you some new music, rework some classics that you're going to know, I think you would really love this show. And I wasn't the only one, because there were about 2,800 people in the building who enjoyed it as well. So let's get into it. We're talking Robert Plant live in 2026 here on The Wolf. So, yeah, we decided to do the show on the immortal Robert Plant just because, I mean, how many more opportunities we're going to get to see and hear Robert Plant? I mean, he's 77. As of now, he'll be 78 later this year. And while he looks great and sounds great, you know, for his age and all that, still, you just wonder, is he going to still do this in his 80s? Is he still going to want to come to America and do, you know, all the dates and be on the bus or whatever, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. But when I heard he was coming to town, and like you said, I don't want to take 2-hour road trips in the middle of the night to go see him anymore. Right. This was my 5th time to see him. And so I figure if he's coming to town, he's coming right downtown in a venue that he's played before. And he kind of mentioned, I was reminded that I have been here before. Like, absolutely. Let's go see Robert Plant, see what he's up to right now, and give the Wolf Cub a chance to see a true legend who's not doing what he did in the 70s. He's not Led Zeppelin Robert Plant, but he can still sing a song. And, you know, so that's what last night was all about. Let's go see the immortal legend, Robert Plant.
Still have to give thanks to Uncle Phil Collins for making him do any of this, because you have to remember that he was going to go be a teacher, 40-something years ago, and Phil Collins said, hey, I think you've got some gas left in the tank there. Why don't you go make some solo records?
That's right.
I really wonder if he hadn't and he'd become a teacher, would that itch have come back at some point in time? Like, you know, I really enjoy performing.
Yeah. And this money, I don't really need money because I have it put away, but
right.
Wouldn't it be nice to go make more of it? You know, I don't know.
Or wouldn't it be nice to have, you know, adoring fans cheer for me again? Because exactly. I'm sure that's part of it. And you mentioned him coming to the United States. I think he really does love being here and going, well, probably to certain places.
Right.
You mentioned that I think he came to Louisville years ago with Alison Krauss and fell in love. So that's one of those things where, yeah, I think he enjoys coming to different places, being here. But you're right. There will come a day where he's just like, yeah, I'm just going to sit at home and count my money.
Yeah. Or, you know, I could do a little English tour to a couple of small venues around here, no problem. But yeah, he doesn't do it for money anymore.
Right.
Maybe in the 80s, it was nice to have some money coming in, but he doesn't need money anymore. That's not why he does this. He does it because he likes performing. He likes the adoring crowd. There's women in every town, so why not enjoy it, you know?
And I'm looking at this set list, and I was trying to figure out exactly what was going on here. It does not appear that there was a new record.
No, okay, so in September of last year, September of 2025, Saving Grace credited with Suzi Dian, you know, the singer, because I think that once Robert started to tour and record with Alison Krauss, and they won like a bunch of Grammys,
yeah,
which is nothing new for Alison. I mean, you have to be like Beyonce or Quincy Jones to have more Grammys than Alison Krauss does. But that's, you know, it's kind of a new thing for Robert. So, you know, once he did that and they made a second record, and then the next time he goes out with Band of Joy, he's out with Patty Griffin. I think he enjoys not only having that female voice to play off of, but I think he likes having the female energy on stage and to have that other person to play off of, not only vocally, but kind of emotionally. I think that's something that's just kind of a part of what he wants to do now.
I remember when they first announced that Robert Plant, Alison Krauss deal, and it was one of those, really? Like, that's a very strange... It didn't seem like two people who would even know each other and then work together, but it totally worked, and he kind of reinvented himself again. And that's one thing I've always admired about him, is that he could literally just go and do an entire Led Zeppelin evening.
Yep.
But he doesn't. He always wants to do something new, something different.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's not afraid of his past anymore. He doesn't really run from it. But thankfully, he's in a position that he doesn't just have to be not only not a Led Zeppelin jukebox, but he doesn't even have to be a Robert Plant solo career jukebox. He can just do a few songs from his old career and a bunch that he just kind of wants to do. And what did they do? 15 songs. I think 5 of them were Zeppelin.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say big Robert Plant solo career hits. And then everything else was stuff from Saving Grace, or maybe something from the Sensational Space Shifters, or some kind of traditional that they've kind of reworked or whatever. And the Zeppelin songs were reworked, and the Robert Plant songs were reworked, but he's not beholden to it, but he doesn't run away from it either. And so he chooses songs that fit the style of music he wants to play and the band he's playing with now.
So would you have, if you knew he was not going to do any Led Zeppelin, would you still have gone?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I would have.
I figured that was the answer. You wouldn't have cared one way or the other. You just wanted to see him perform.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's the 5th time. The first time I saw him was with you in 1994 when he and Jimmy Page were with the big band and the full orchestra. And then I saw him again, I guess it was a stripped down version with Jimmy after they did the Walking into Clarksdale record, which I still have never really given a full shot. I was just glad they were going to tour again kind of thing. And then I saw him with Alison Krauss because, yes, they played the Louisville Palace because Alison Krauss and Union Station once recorded a live album there. And even on the live recording, you can hear Alison say, "Thank you so much. This is such a beautiful theater. We love it here. It's a beautiful place." And the first time that Alison and Robert came, I think they came for 2 nights.
Oh, okay.
I only went to one, but it was kind of one of those things that Allison's like, "Yeah, we should definitely play here. I love it here." And they did 2 nights. I only went to the one night, but yeah, they played. And then eventually I saw him play with Patty Griffin at the Louisville Palace. And so when they came back, I'm like, oh yeah, it's 15 minutes or 20 minutes from the house. No doubt. Yeah. Let's go see the legend do his thing one more time.
Okay. So you've been to the Palace, I don't know how many times.
Dozens.
Do you have do you care where you sit? Do you have a spot?
No, it doesn't have to be one spot. Most of the sight lines are pretty good. Sometimes I like to sit upstairs in the loge just because it is pretty chill up there and you kind of look down and see the whole band really easily. But those tickets tend to be a little more expensive. I have been on the aisle for like the last few shows. I was on the aisle for Yes and Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin experience. And so I got some aisle seats again. And it's great for the Wolf Cub because she is still kind of short. But if you put her on the aisle, there's kind of a natural sight, lines to the stage.
Okay.
So she's not behind a bunch of people. Mm-hmm. And so that works out just fine. So, yeah, and we were in around the 20th row. We're on the side, but we're on the aisle. So, if there's 4 big sections, we're on the one to the very right, but we're in the very left of the section. So, yeah, the seats were great, and now that I have a decent phone, when I zoom in on Robert Plant, I can actually see him pretty well. Yeah.
And the sound is good all over the place. Yeah,
always, yeah.
Because it's an actual theater and not a club or a bar or anything like that. So it was designed for musical performances.
It is purpose built. Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic.
Yep.
So she was excited?
So, well, yeah, I was, I've taken the She-Wolf to see Robert Plant before. So usually She-Wolf's like, yeah, take her, I don't want to go anyway. Take her. Robert Plant. And first she's like, no, I'm going to Robert Plant. But then as we got closer and she realized it's on a Sunday and she doesn't want to be out late and all that kind of stuff, she realized I can take the Wolf Cup, which is perfect for me because if I take out the She-Wolf, I got to get a babysitter. I got to go to a decent meal. There's probably going to be drinks involved. Nope. We just got pizza and then we put on our concert clothes. We drive down, we go in, we sit, we enjoy it, we drive home. It's so much simpler. No one's asking to leave after the second, third song. No one's talking during the best song.
Which one is this? Which one is the Led Zeppelin? All right.
We can go if you're ready. It's the third song.
Yeah.
The show just started. Okay.
Oh, good times.
But it was okay. But you like this part. So we're sitting there just waiting for the show to kind of get going. It's like more than 2 hours after doors. And we got there probably, I don't know. If he starts at 8:40 or 8:45, we got there a little after 8, something like that. Enough to get in there, get a drink, kind of get settled, situated, all that kind of stuff. There's no one sitting next to us for the longest time. And then right before, these 2 enormous yahoos come next to it.
Perfect.
Somewhere between 6'4" and 6'7", both of them. Both of them carrying 2 drinks. And just huge dudes who are pretty sure that it's normal to just talk at full volume all throughout the show. It's, the people in front of you or behind you aren't going to mind that at all. And everything you say is really, really intelligent the entire time.
Well, yeah.
Especially, he leans over to me when his buddy goes to the bathroom and said, "That's the baddest motherfucker on the planet right there. He sounds better than he did 40 years ago." I'm like, shouldn't you have your own section somewhere?
Perhaps out in the parking lot.
The Yahoo section or something. Not to mention they were huge, so they would rock back and forth when they would get excited about a track, and it would move all the seats on the whole row. But you know what? We went ahead and put in the earplugs. We could tune them out pretty well. I'm just like, if that's what you think your life is about, you go for it, pal. You enjoy it.
So there was a moment in time where you were like, maybe nobody will sit next to us, and this will be great.
I knew it was going to. I knew someone was coming. I mean, I knew someone was coming, but I didn't know it was going to be those 2 idiots. Oh, well.
It's always my luck on the plane. You got the middle seat empty, and you're like, come on, come on, come on. They're going to close the door. Oh, and the last person gets on, and
they're 300 pounds.
Yup, and they've got 4 things that they want to bring on, and sorry, I'm late. Are you? Because, okay. Great.
Yeah, but there wasn't a opening act or anything like that, at least not that I was aware of. And they got straight into it, and then, Robert's just... He looks good. His hair isn't quite so long, and he's wearing like cool thin cut stuff. So when the spotlight's on him, he looks good. But when it's kind of just his silhouette, kind of clapping along or whatever, he still looks cool,
Uh-huh.
And so so the stage setup is, for me, it is Robert and Suzi Dian kind of step up to the front of the stage. And Suzi strums the guitar a little bit. She also plays some accordion. But then for me, what is left to right on stage is there's a guitar player kind of up on a riser. And I believe that guitar player's name is Tony Kelsey. Okay. Lots of acoustic. He also played some mandolin on it. Then moving to the right is another string player. His name's Matt Worley. He played banjo. He played guitar. He also sang a little bit with Robert and Suzi. So he's kind of a multi-instrumentalist. Then they moved over, and there's the cellist, and his name's Barney Morse Brown. But he played the cello, sure, and it would create some haunting songs to kind of create the mood and the background for some of this stuff that they were doing. But he also he plucked it like a bass when it was necessary. So I felt like he was kind of an unsung MVP type.
Okay.
And then I guess Ollie Jefferson was their drummer on the very far, for me, stage right. For them, it's stage left. So there's only 6 folks on stage. Not an enormous band.
The drums are not in the middle.
No.
Interesting.
No.
All right.
Drums are kind of to the side there. Yeah.
You wonder, too, about getting all that gear around. That's a little more. Once you get into like cellos, like that's not super easy to transport. They're larger instruments. And the thing is, too, with it, a guitar is fairly hardy as far as like, I mean, you can't beat it up too much to keep it in tune, but a cello that's a different deal. You got to keep it away from everything else. You can't be too rough with it. Kind of lay it on its side so it doesn't get out of tune, because you hit one wrong note on that, it's so low, and it was. And the other thing too is then you got different. I guess you must have 1 or 2 guys that can do all of that stuff. You got to tune the guitars, the banjo, the cello, all that stuff. You don't have a separate person for each one of those things.
Well, that's probably true, yeah. But Robert can charge enough that they can have enough techs and roadies with them to make sure that all gets done. But it's not a huge rock sound, and they didn't play a lot of electric guitars, mostly acoustics. And then when they did play electrics, I couldn't get a read on exactly which make and model they were, but they weren't super fancy ones. They weren't Gibsons, they weren't Fenders, and they certainly weren't anything like a Ibanez or Jackson or anything like that. It was,
interesting. Okay.
It was kind of just a cool bluesy guitar, and really nobody was wailing. Nobody's doing any kind of Jimmy Page stuff. It was more about creating textures and
for the vocals.
serving the song. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And this sound was good. It sounded.
It's perfect.
A show like this probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. But I just remember going to shows where like all you can hear is the bass. Like it's so loud, and you can feel it like thumping on you. Like, oh. It's kind of nice to have a little something that's a little lighter.
Well, and I probably could have gotten away without any earplugs last night if I really want to. It's certainly for some of the songs.
Yeah.
I just figured it's always a good idea, not to mention it'll drown out Yahoo 1 and 2 next
Correct.
to me, so.
The ambient noise next to you.
So I figured, yeah, it's fine. And yeah, they sounded great all night, really. Perfect sound. It's not a huge rock sound. It's what Robert needs, I feel like, because he doesn't scream those big screams anymore. He doesn't do it the way he used to.
Right.
He sings kind of softer. He can bring it up a little bit, but the stuff that he chooses to do is not the stuff that he did in the 70s.
Right. And if it truly is a case where either he can't get to that register anymore, or he just doesn't feel like it, I'd rather have you do something different than watch you try and struggle through
absolutely
Led Zeppelin songs.
And
yeah.
he doesn't need to. He doesn't.
Right.
He just
Right.
doesn't need to. So it's an enjoyable. That's another reason I was happy to take the Wolf Cubs. Like, it's not going to be one of these crazy shows. It's a show where you sit down through the whole thing, and
Right.
once in a while, after they do a Zeppelin related song or whatever, or a big one, yeah, they'll stand up and applaud. Or when he comes back for the encore, yeah, they'll stand up and applaud, and then they all sit down because, everybody's old.
Right. It must be nice, though, for the older crowd to see you bring your daughter, the next generation of music appreciation. Because, yeah, I would be curious as to what the average age on this show was.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was obviously pretty old, but I mean, like when we took our picture with Oliver Wakeman after the Rick and Oliver Wakeman show, the picture of me and Oliver and the Wolf Cub are the three youngest people at the show. Whereas there are younger Zeppelin fans out there. Every generation picks up Zeppelin somewhere
Well, that's true,
along the way. And so, and I saw some people who were maybe in their 20s. I saw some people who maybe they were teenagers, but they were maybe with their parents kind of thing. So, but the vast majority were very old people. Yeah. Or at least middle age, at least around my age, kind of thing. But I remember hearing some people that were in their 40s talk about how they'd never seen Robert Plant before, So I'm like, okay,
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were in that boat once, so that's cool.
That's right. Yeah. We were 20, but that's fine.
Right.
Or 21 maybe.
Hey, this is Alan Hunter, original MTV VJ, now on Sirius XM, and you are listening to The Ugly American Werewolf in London.
So they start working through it. I mean, there's not a ton of songs to go over. I mean, he starts off with stuff that I didn't really know. Here's the thing. I don't have the Saving Grace album. I'm not like a Zeppelin completist.
Okay.
Even though, I mean, I'm fairly close. I have almost all of Robert's albums. Jimmy doesn't have that many to have, and so I have them. But it's not like, oh, Robert Plant made some. I've got to go get it.
I've got to run out and get it, yeah.
No, and I know the kind of stuff that he likes to do now, so I don't have to have it in my possession. I can always hear it whenever I want. And they start with The Very Day I'm Gone, which is a Nora Brown cover. And they go into absolutely something after that called The Cuckoo, which is like a traditional. It wasn't that song. It was As I Roved Out, which is they came later. But he's like, this is from this isn't from, because he said, we're going to go through some time and space here and do some different stuff. And
we're called Saving Grace. We are actually here to do as much saving as we can in particularly difficult times. We hope you enjoy what we're going to do tonight. There's all sorts of stuff around the corner.
So sometimes he'll do a little something from the 70s and then a little something from the 90s, something from the 80s. But then that As I Roved Out was like something from the 18th century, not even the 20th century, it's the 18th century. So he's mixing stuff up, some traditionals and stuff that just kind of spoke to his heart, stuff that has always been around. And then they can use the textures that playing either the cello with your fingers or plugging in and playing it and holding a note with the bow, kind of create this eerie thing. And then plus it was like what Steve Kilby was talking about. If you get the two guitars doing something that then creates a third sound, right? It's not just this guitar or that guitar. You put them together and it's something else. That can create kind of a different mood too. And so I think that's kind of what they were going for on some of these songs.
Did they try and blend songs together, or was there a hard stop?
There was always a hard stop.
Okay.
Yeah. There was always, and
sometimes
sometimes he would
hard.
do a little crowd work, but usually it's just a hard stop. Yeah.
Well, yeah, sometimes when they go from one to the other, it's like, oh, those are two songs. Okay. Especially if I'm not super familiar with every single track.
Yeah.
It is nice though that you can go, if you are so inclined, to the set list to kind of get an idea of what's coming up. I know there was I think, who was it? Roger Daltrey got all bent out of shape about that people would put that information online,
Oh.
and it should be a surprise. But I'm like,
They just don't go online. I mean,
well, yeah, and I kind of like looking at this, saying, okay, I have an idea, the framework of what's happening here, and you can get excited for different songs, and at this point in time, you have to understand there's going to be stuff that he doesn't play that you have to be okay with. If you're going for every single one, you're going to be disappointed.
yeah, and at this age, doesn't everyone have to take a bathroom break? I mean, I guess we didn't.
Correct.
But I mean, you have to plan those things. And
Right.
That's exactly what they did. Now, the third song, Higher Rock, that's a Martha Scanlon cover that was on the Saving Grace album that came out last year.
Mm-hmm.
But he did, if I'm not mistaken, pull out the old harp on that and
Okay.
started to give it a little bit of a wail. And that got the crowd going for sure.
Okay.
And it was cool. It was a cool thing to see. He just kind of pulls it out and starts doing his thing on it. I'm like, oh, he still can blow that harp. How about that? That's cool. Yeah, people were psyched about that. Now, the backdrop was really just a picture of the Saving Grace album, and then they would have different lights on it. So sometimes it might be redder, or sometimes they might have bright white lights on it or whatever. So there's nothing fancy about it. It's very kind of sparse. And the stage was that way too. There wasn't just stuff everywhere. The guys had different guitars around them, in the back there. But I mean, other than that, it's a scaled down kind of a thing, and it was perfect for the night. But after Higher Rock, they do a reworked little version of Ramble On.
Okay.
And of course, this gets the people going. Now, acoustic only, no electric
Right.
guitars for this. Electric guitars didn't come out till later. But yeah, they play a little acoustic stuff, and it's a little different. It's not quite the same. It's maybe a little slower than
Okay.
the original version. But
Did you know what it was as soon as they went into it?
Well, I did, because I looked at the set list, and when they started playing it, it was one of those things. It was like Lounge Layla, where some people picked up on it right away because you could hear the chords, because it's not quite the same, but it's the same enough that you knew it was coming. But then once you started singing it,
Right. Then people figured it out. Yeah.
then the crowd is all into it.
Your buddies next to you were excited.
Oh, wow, wow. I don't know who does it, thinks that, Robert can hear me. It's making him do his show better.
That's what you. No. That's why he showed up. He showed up to hear you yell. He couldn't wait. Shut up.
Especially the people right in front of you. That's they want that too. That's I'd come here for a quiet night that I paid hundreds of dollars for.
Right.
I want to hear two yahoos screaming the whole night. That'll be more fun.
And telling you what the song is. Yeah, I got it. Thanks. I appreciate it.
There's nothing I can do. Not a thing I can do. Maybe it was just as well. Because this is what I gotta do. This is what I gotta do. This is what I always gotta do. Sing my song.
But next there was a song called Ain't No Grave. And basically the chorus was, ain't no grave that can hold me down. And
Well, that's kind of cool.
dude, it was a really
Yeah.
cool song, and I'm like, damn, this is kind of badass,
Yeah.
that was not on that album. I don't know if that's one that he was on one of his others, or it's just something they got together and decided this would be a fun one to do. It says it was a Brother Claude Eli cover.
Okay.
I'm going to take your
Right.
word on that.
Right.
but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was, I mean, it's like those lyrics are very old time bluesy kind of stuff. So I'm like, that's kind of Robert's roots, and that's really pretty awesome. And then they went into Let the Four Winds Blow, which is a song that he did with the Strange Sensation over the last however many years. But having Suzi Diane's voice on there, I think was perfect to complement Roberts. And
that is a good idea because he always sung high. Right. So that is a natural compliment to his, instead of another guy there. Plus, I mean, who doesn't want to be around ladies all day? That would be nice. But yeah, I think that suits what he can't do anymore. It fills in nicely.
But I think I could be wrong here, but I think that's when Matt Worley, the banjo / guitarist, broke out. He got to sing a little bit with them at that point. I think that's right. And so, and he had a different voice altogether too. And then sometimes he would just sing main, and then Robert and Suzi would kind of fill in on the background kind of stuff. So they're he's giving other people a chance to shine there. So I thought that was pretty awesome. Cool of him to do.
Yeah. And again, it's not going to be like, well, Robert got overshadowed by, come on. I mean, he could just go out there and hang out and not be overshadowed.
No, just tell stories, and people would be perfectly happy with all of that. But then he goes into Four Sticks. Now, not everybody likes Four Sticks. If I'm not mistaken, it's the one song that they didn't put on the original box set from Led Zeppelin 4.
I believe you're correct, yeah.
Our friend Christy Alexander Hallberg, who unfortunately has sunsetted her podcast Rock is Lit, but is still a huge Jimmy Page and Robert Plant fan. She always loved Four Sticks. We're going to have to give her a shout out to let her know that it was pretty good. Pretty darn good. And he's not screaming, I want the four winds crying into the night. He's not doing that, but he's reworking it, and he's clapping along, and the people are clapping along, and people are into it because they know this song, right? Honestly, I thought it was great. And you don't have to do Stairway to Heaven or Black Dog or anything like that. Yes, going to California probably would have fit the mood of the night pretty well, but that's okay. I feel like this one did too, and it was a good rendition of it. So I, couldn't be happier.
Could you imagine if he broke out Stairway to Heaven? It doesn't go with anything. It's way too long.
Yeah.
What is this?
And people would have lost their minds. They would have been so psyched, because I got to tell you, a lot of time when something like Four Sticks comes out, a lot of phones go up. A lot of them do, For the other stuff, maybe a little bit here and there. But as soon as they're doing something they know pretty well, the phones are out. Yeah. Now, what's interesting is after that, he does a little bit of crowd work. And he talked about how he's doing a song by Bob Mosley, I guess was the lead songwriter of Moby Grape. And Moby Grape was somebody who Robert kind of was listening to in the time of Led Zeppelin, and I was probably friends with and all that kind of stuff, or at least knew a little bit. And so there's a song called It's a Beautiful Day Today by Moby Grape, which they went ahead and then covered. And I believe it's on the Saving Grace album. Yes, it is.
I just got into certain kinds of music. I was grooving on Chicago blues. I was listening to the Mississippi Delta. I was listening to the music of the West Coast of the United States, the rebel music of the time. The bands and the musicians and the singers had a story and were looking for liberation and some kind of celebration of life. One of those bands that caught my eye and stayed with me all the way through to now is a group from the Bay Area called Moby Grape. And that's three of you. And they were really important to me and remain so. On our new record, we've recorded one of the songs written and sung by Bob Mosley on the first Moby Grape album. It now appears on our record. It's called It's a Beautiful Day Today. Wouldn't that be great?
And that's kind of cool about the Saving Grace album. There's no Robert Plant writes on here. There's traditionals that they've kind of arranged, and maybe he gets a piece of that, but everything else is basically covers.
Okay.
So he's just trying to do songs that he loves now. And some of those were written by other people, and some of those were written by him or recorded by him back in the day. But he's just kind of doing whatever he wants to do, and it really is working for him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, was the place packed?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, sold out.
Again, obviously they're excited with what you're doing. They will still show up. So you're right, it is working for him.
Keeps going. And then he decides to do Callin' to You. He's like, I believe this was from the 1990s. And he kind of goes in how decades are weird things, and that this is a very odd decade that we're in right now.
We saw him do this on the Jimmy Page tour.
He did. That's the one solo
Correct. Yeah,
from
I think it
his
was off
catalog.
Fate of
right?
Nations.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was the single out at the time. They did that, and they did something from maybe
Like
I know
Shake
they
My
did-
Tree or something
Yeah, from
like that.
Coverdale Page, which I thought was weird because I thought we didn't talk about David Coverdale, but it was cool that they included that. But yeah, this was the one that he did from his solo record.
And it was good. They did a cool rendition of it last night. And again, clap, clap, getting people clapping along to it.
Yeah.
It was awesome. But then next came the song where it's like, yeah, this is from the 18th century, which means from the 1700s, the As I Roved Out. I think it's kind of the old story of maybe life didn't go your way, maybe your woman did you wrong, something like that.
And you're just out on the road.
He's kind of split,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But next was For the Turnstiles from Neil Young, and I couldn't recognize it. And now I'm a fairly decent Neil Young fan, and I know the song, but
Yeah.
they reworked it so much that I never would have picked up, oh, that's what this is, kind of thing. Because Neil's a hell of a lead guitarist, and they let the guitar player kind of do his thing a little bit, but not over the top like Neil.
Okay.
So, yeah, and they kind of broke it into different pieces, I felt like. So it was different. It was cool. And I knew what was coming next because I knew when we were going to leave. So I kind of knew when the last few songs were. I'm like, all right, well, let's see what he does with a Neil Young song. Honestly, when he started playing it, because I wasn't staring at my phone to say, which song is this? And I just kind of knew they're going to play Friends. They're going to stop. They're going to come back for In the Mood, and then we're going to split. So when they did For the Turnstiles, it didn't come to me, oh, this is Neil's song right away. Eventually I got it. But yeah, it was good. It was good. It was, a nice reworking.
And nice shout out to Neil Young too.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when they do Friends, that was pretty close to it, really. That was pretty close to Friends.
To the original. Okay.
Yeah. And then they did kind of slow it down and do a break in the middle. And I feel like I keep calling him a bass player. The cellist, though, kind of stopped and they set the mood a little bit in the middle, and they let the guitar player do a thing. They kind of came back, and he kind of did a little
Yeah.
like from Battle of Evermore from Page and Plants Unleaded. He kind of threw little shout outs out there back to some Zeppelin callbacks and stuff. And of course, people were loving it.
Yeah.
That's from 3, isn't it, Friends?
It is from, Led Zeppelin 3.
Okay.
So you were correct. Because, yes, that is the more acoustic record.
Especially after 2.
Yeah.
And, we've talked on the show about how I don't like Led Zeppelin 2 anymore because rock radio overplayed it and kind of ruined it. And yes, Ramble On is from Zeppelin 2, but because it was reworked and, Robert was happy and moving around. I mean, that's the thing. He kind of saunters around the stage. He doesn't really run.
He's an elderly gentleman now.
Yeah, and he's just kind of cool, and he kind of just shimmies back and forth. He can kind of, or gets his hand, and moves a little bit. And then he will walk from one side to the other. He wants to see people. He wants to go around clapping his hands and making sure people are getting into it. But he's very smooth on stage. I give him that. And for a while, he went and sat back behind some of the guys where he let Suzi do a little singing. Then he stood up when they were going to sing together. So, I mean, he's very comfortable still on the stage. He's very much in his own skin. And like I said, I thought he looked great. But so Friends, they do, yes, thank you very much. And
did he say goodnight?
Yeah. Did he say goodnight?
Because at this point in time, let's not fool ourselves. You're coming back. Come on.
Yeah. I can't remember if he said that. And I was like, thank you, Louisville, come back. And he kept saying stuff like, this is Matt's first time in Kentucky. Give him a big hand. And, it's good to be back here in Louisville, and he would work Louisville into the songs a little bit.
Oh,
which is smart, which makes, the people go crazy.
Ooh, that's here. We love you.
So then, there's the obligatory, they're off the stage for 2 minutes or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then they come back out and said, now here's a song from the 80s. And, some of my friends the 80s were quite a thing. Some of my friends struggled or whatever, but we decided we're going to bring this song back, and it was In the Mood, which was from Principle of Moments, his first record, that, like you said, Phil Collins encouraged him to get out there and go do.
Yeah.
I had a really rough time, and some of my counterparts did, in what they used to call the 1980s. Oh my, you were obviously at school then, but we managed to squeeze some songs out in between Depeche Mode and things like that. This is one of those songs that's an absolute joy to bring back into common speak. Hope you like it. Come on.
And hearing him doing it with Suzi did give it a new feel to it. I really did like the way they did it, you know. And then he would come out, I'm in the mood, Louisville, and oh,
yeah, we are
said
too,
it,
yeah.
you know.
Little song that you wanna sing, little song that you wanna sing, it's all for you.
They did it a little bit longer and did it a little differently. And so I'm like, you know what? That's actually really cool. I'm really enjoying that because he doesn't play that all the time. And I always love that song. And so I was like, yeah, man, that's awesome. I mean, I was just psyched. This is Robert Plant. He's still doing this. He's still moving. He's still singing. He doesn't get way up in those higher registers anymore, but he doesn't need to. He's got Suzi to kind of balance. She can do that high stuff. He can kind of be more in a more natural range for someone his age. And it really shined through on In the Mood. And people were standing up for it. They were loving it. They're just happy to be there, watching him do his thing. As soon as it was over, we walked right out of there, and we were at home by 10:30 while some people were still in the parking lot, or maybe even trying to say, what do you mean the bar's closed? What do you mean the bar's closed? We don't have to deal with any of that.
And you only missed one song, and it wasn't even, I mean,
it's a cover, of course, you know, and there's old people there, there's people in wheelchairs there, you know, it can take forever to get out of there. So.
Right.
I'm like, you know what? I don't know what this last song is. All I know is if we leave now, I can have you home by 10:30. You'd probably still be up, and I'd be convincing you to go to bed anyway. So just go. So yeah,
it does stink if you. There is part of me that's like, you know, you stay to the end, man. But then the lights come on, everybody's trying to get out, and you're like, I should have left early. Oh, the last song wasn't that great.
Yeah. Or at least leave before the band comes and takes a bow. Because I think it was before Friends that Suzi came and like introduced everybody in the band. Like, here's Ollie on the drums. Here's, this guy, that guy, whatever. And then the immortal, the wonderful Robert Plant. But look, I mean.
Who, me? Oh,
Why would you not go see Robert Plant if he's in your town? I mean, I understand you don't want to drive 2 or 3 hours to see him anymore.
Right.
He's past his prime as far as his amazing solo stuff. Yeah, we get that. But he's in your town, man. You just got to go downtown.
Right. Yeah.
Heck
that would have been silly to miss that. It is nice that you've got that venue there that people who we want to see now come and play. As much as I like to see big shows, because, you get the energy and the sound is a lot bigger, to being in a venue with that many people now is kind of like, you know what, maybe these smaller shows are better.
Yeah, I mean, you have to leave early in a huge venue. You're crazy to stay to the end of that.
Yeah.
You're costing yourself an hour and a half, and none of it's fun.
Right. I have to remind myself, I'm not 20 years old anymore. I'm not like, oh yeah, it's only 3 hours. What a piece of crap. We need more. And like, no, I got maybe 2 and change, and then I'm perfect with that.
Yeah, exactly. You came to see the Leds and play, let him do his thing.
Yeah.
A great show, a big show is fun. An arena or a stadium show is still fun sometimes, but yeah, it's so much nicer. It's just intimate. You're sitting down. The sound's perfect.
Oh, that's the other thing too. I've got to stand for 2.5 hours. But it is nice to sit down and relax and have more of an adult evening and not everybody's screaming. Except for the people next to you, of course.
Except for those
Most
two
people
guys
are screaming.
I was wondering what they might be doing today, but I think they said something about, just couple big farm boys. So I'm like, well, if you're a farmer, you got to get up in the morning.
Right.
And get going. So,
Yeah.
They're probably up before me this morning, or maybe not. I don't know. But maybe the cows let them sleep in. I don't know. But I'm sure that they had a good time last night.
Did the wolf cub have a good time?
Yeah, she did. She thought it was cool. I think she got a little tired because she doesn't know the songs that well, and she doesn't. She knows In the Mood. She can sing that song, but she doesn't know Friends that well. She doesn't know Four Sticks that well. I don't know if she knew Calling to You at all. And so it's tough to be there when all the songs are unfamiliar to you.
Yeah.
Even though it's like it's good music and you can see the people singing and they're obviously very talented. So I think she really enjoyed it. I think it was great that because In the Mood, I was standing up for In the Mood. I mean, you kind of had to. Everybody in front of you was. So we were kind of grooving to In the Mood and she was kind of grooving to it too. And then I was like, yep, let's get the heck out of here.
Now we're gone. And she doesn't put up any kind. She knows that's the protocol, right?
Yeah, I mean, I put that out at the beginning. I said, look, I'm here In the Mood.
Right.
We're out of there after that.
Got it.
She's just
Perfect.
fine. She's glad I took her instead of her mother.
And I'm sure her mother was excited because then she didn't have to go out on a Sunday night.
That's the thing. A lot of times, months in advance, oh, yeah, I'd love to go that. And then the week, the night of, do we have to go down there? Why don't we just stay home? And I'm like, I've been waiting months for this. I've paid hundreds of dollars. I'm going to the show. You don't want to go? Fine. Next time, tell me in advance so I don't have to waste another $100 or $150 or whatever it is. But,
Right.
I have to be strategic about who I take to the show. Because at first it was, she really wanted to go. And then I said, okay, well, I'm taking Wolf Cub to Rick and Oliver Wakeman, the Sunday before. And then, yes, it's only fair that I take She Wolf. And
Sure.
But then she realized I've taken her to see Robert Plant a couple of times. So this might be the Wolf Cub's only chance to see him play. So
Sounds like it worked out for the best.
for everybody, it was
Right.
awesome.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. I don't want to go with somebody who's not super excited. How long have we been here? What time is it? No, because then you start to get anxious about, I want to stay, but if this person is going to be
A pain in the ass, I know.
yeah, exactly.
But the thing is, she would have liked it that once she was there, she would have been fine. The whole,
Sure.
why am I getting dressed up? Why am I
Right.
going all the way down? Why? But then once she was there and the show's gone, I think she would have really enjoyed it. It's more her kind of music than it is mine from growing up, as far as it's a little more country and bluegrass than it is, pure hard rock and roll. So I think she would have liked it. But yeah, I mean, she's not going to get too many more invites, I'm telling you, just because I'm trying to educate the Wolf Cup. Let her go see people before it's too late, before we can never see them again.
Right.
Plus, yeah, she tends to be a little bit better behaved at the show. So. But I would definitely go see Robert Plant. I mean, I don't know how many people listening are going to have the chance to go, but I would go do it because he still can sing incredibly well. He's still Robert Plant on stage, very confident, very cool, still sings his stuff very well. No, it's not the screaming yawp of the 70s. He's not doing all those incredible Zeppelin tunes. You want to see that? Go see Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin experience. It's awesome. It's perfect for that. But yeah, you want to hear some like Celtic, acoustic kind of backcountry music from way back when. He does that, mixing in some Zeppelin and solo classics. So for me, I thought it was great. Great night out. Would go see it tomorrow again.
Would recommend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's excellent. And the nice part is, at this point in time, you're not surprised. I mean, he has been doing not Led Zeppelin stuff for so long.
Yeah.
That this isn't, like I said, this shouldn't be surprising. Oh, what? He's not, every song isn't a Led Zeppelin song. Wait, what's this other stuff? No, he's going to do what he wants to do. And you're just kind of along for the ride.
That's right. And enjoy it. And I certainly did. So I think that other like-minded people would do the same. Just hope there aren't 530 pounds of dipshit next to you through the whole show. Just a cool night out with Robert Plant. I'm glad I got to see him. I know it's the 5th time I've seen him, but you can never really see the people who you love and admire enough. Whether they're your family, who you live with, or there's someone like Robert Plant, someone who you admire from afar for decades and only get to see him once in a while. I think it was a great night out. Music was great. The reworked Zeppelin classics were great. His solo songs like Calling to You and In the Mood were great. It just made for an enjoyable night. Yeah, we had a couple of guys next to us who were maybe having a little too much fun or didn't realize people didn't come to listen to them talk nonsense at the top of their lungs. They're there to see Robert Plant and his band, but I guarantee you they had fun. And we had fun as well. And I bet that if you went to go see Robert Plant in your town or wherever you may have to travel to see him, you would have a great night too. And we want to know, folks, did we get something right? Did we get something wrong? Did we miss the point? Did we leave out your favorite part? Email us and let us know. It's uglymericanwerewolf@gmail.com. You let us know the bands, the artists, the albums, the tours, concerts, DVDs, books, all the rock properties you want to hear us talk about on the show. You can visit our website. And hey, if you're looking to help us out, go give us a 5-star review. It doesn't matter where. Those Spotify and Apple are probably the big ones, but it just means the world to us. It helps us find more rock and rollers like you. And if you send it our way, we might just read it on an episode. Thanks as always to Pantheon Podcast for making us part of the family. And thanks to our sponsor, rarevinyl.com, where if you use the code UGLY, you could save 10% off one entire order. And yes, they have a lot of great Robert Plant and Led Zeppelin stuff in their catalog. That's it for this week. We have a couple of killer albums turning 50 here that we want to celebrate in the next few weeks. And we've got a guest coming on the show who has a very big television show of his own, going to premiere its 3rd season here for the summer. We can't wait to talk to as well. So you're going to have to stay tuned. And until next time, to all you rockers all around the world, be cool and keep doing what you do to keep rock alive.